For a long time, drugs were treated as people behaving badly. Over time, there's more acceptance that this is not just about moral failings, this is about changes in people's brains.
Hi there.
Methadone treatment programs are the gold standard for opiate addiction. This medication probably has as much study behind it as maybe any other kind of medication. We don't know of any treatment that's more effective.
We are in the midst of a full-fledged heroin epidemic and prescription opiate epidemic right now. Medication-assisted treatment works because it first addresses the biggest driver of the disorder, which is the body's chemistry gone awry. We start with getting the body under control and the brain under control, and then we help them work through the really difficult task of recovery, which is about putting their life back together. We are a bona fide medical clinic. We've got an interdisciplinary team. Our staff are incredibly committed to the patients that we serve.
We are all chemical dependency professionals. We're licensed through the state, and so we've gone through all of the rigorous training that's required for this type of treatment. How much is that? The intake counselor's approach is we view each person as an individual. We are going through medical history, mental health history, their drug and alcohol use history, family, social relationships, to help develop the first set of treatment plans.
Usually by the time they come to us, they've tried many times to quit on their own without success. In the beginning, there are a lot of medical appointments with us as we work to get them stable on the medication. When they're in the throes of their addiction, all they can really think about is getting the next fix, and they neglect everything else. Once they're stable on a medication, it really creates an environment for them to progress and just really take full advantage of all the other services that are available.
There's no certain type of person that comes in here. Young, old, rich, poor.
Good morning.
All demographics.
Good, how are you doing?
The nurse has a very key role because they are the one that actually sees the patient every single day. The nurse is actually assessing the client from the second that they walk into the dosing room, whether they're depressed, impaired, needing additional services. The nurse really gets to know the patients very well.
Have a good day.
They come in pretty beat down, but still hopeful, and then they start feeling better and better. And as the days and the weeks go on, they perk up. They're like walking a little bit straighter, they're smiling more, they start talking about plans for their future.
We certainly see people physically change. People do come into our offices with more life in their eyes, with more plump in their cheeks. Because the cravings and withdrawal are managed by this very effective medication, we can do the real work of helping that person along in their recovery. The changes that we might see: improvement in relationships, their self-esteem, the way they think about the world. That is what our treatment really does, is enable that kind of transformation.
I still see some patients I saw when I first came here in 1990, and their lives are much more stable, they feel much better, they're happier. My hope is that there will be more medications to choose from, and that people see this as a medical problem that needs medical clinicians to treat it, along with other professionals as well.
We work with one of the most vulnerable sets of people in our community. These people are in great need of our services. We are a really important part of the solution to this epidemic.